another 20 minutes or so, and I've been thinking more about the why, the reasons I gave just before. I'm gonna have to splice this video in somehow. I don't know. I wanted just to sort of do a video and just off the cuff explain my why. And then I got back to the original questions my physio was asking. He was going, why, but why, but why, but why, but why? Yeah, those are good reasons. Your family, your daughters, your the world, the way it is. Why? As I've driven on further, those still feel superficial, and I don't think they're at the core of it. And what I'm trying to do with self-mastery is understanding what are the emotions driving the why. What are the emotions driving anything we do? What are the motivations? And I think the more I think about it, the why becomes more about why do I want to get stronger? Why do I want to build myself better? What is the reason why? And it comes down to there's feelings like fear. There is deep fear of not feeling strong enough to withstand the onslaught of life. That is probably one of my drivers. I feel weak in the face of the sheer weight of responsibility is probably the key driver. I feel like that is probably my fundamental why. I'm probably, if I'm brutally honest, I'm probably scared of failing, of not being strong enough, of not being resilient enough, of not being a good enough provider for my family. And fear is a very, very compelling reason and why anyone does anything. So yeah, I just wanted to hone in on that and get really real about it, because when it comes down to it, that is the reason I'm doing this, is trying to strip away the bullshit and fakery and the stories we tell ourselves, to get to the core of the issues, to get to the nitty gritty, as they say, to get to the real fundamental building blocks of life, of the day-to-day struggle. So yeah, that was just an interesting experience just now of making the video and then thinking I had the answer in the video, not having the answer, and then finding it after a bit of dwelling. So yeah, I think just being real with everyone here is that is the reason, the fundamental reason why I want to do this. I don't want to feel I don't want to focus on negatives like that, but I don't want to feel inadequate anymore. I don't want to feel weak. I it's so powerful to really try and delve into that stuff, as I find that if we can shine a light on the darkest areas of ourselves, the shadows, we can see them, we can see what they are, we can talk to them, we can speak to them, and we can give them love. We can give those areas of ourselves love because they've been dormant, they've been sitting there. And you know, everything in life is out there to trigger us, you know. But what is a trigger but just an unaddressed emotion within yourself that is suddenly flares into action, flares out of the shadows, and catches us out by surprise. And certainly in my life, I've felt those moments are most damaging to the people around me, the people I love, and they catch me by surprise, and their velocity and they can really be quite angry outbursts, and they come out as sort of they can come out as passive aggressiveness. They just one little statement can create so much damage, and they can erode trust and respect. And I think, and I reflect on that, and they erode trust and respect of myself. So I'm tired of being that person, of being that reactive, spiteful, angry, whinging, just victim. I'm done. That guy is no longer serving me, and I'm raising my frequency to a different level. I've gone past that person, and I say that I feel like I have moved past that person. However, you might call that the integrated man. It's still not saying that person isn't there anymore. I'm just aware of him. I know he's there, and I give him love because that's what he needs. And ultimately, that's where a lot of our emotional issues come from. Is from times in our lives, usually at a younger stage of life, where events happened out of your control, and you developed coping mechanisms to get through them, and those echo throughout our adult lives. And if we're lucky enough to be able to see them and be aware of them, we can capture them, we can work through them, so they don't destroy us, because that is ultimately what happens. And I see that in society. I see that in myself. I felt myself being corrupted by my own energies from the past, which are ankle tripping me every time I felt a bit sort of tired or a bit drained. That'd be there to trip me up. So yeah, that's that's quite surprising how I just want to say thank you to the camera. Thank you to whoever's watching, that I was able to share that, because that is actually at the core of it. I think is my why is just I'm scared. I'm scared of not being enough, and I've been through some journeys where you are enough. You are a gift, and it's nice to say these things. It's another thing to believe them and to be them, to be that. So that's where I'm going. That's the trajectory. That's where the energy's going. I feel that vibe with myself. So hopefully it vibes with whoever watches this. But that's the vulnerability right there. And if that resonates with you, then let's work on it. Let's use that as our fuel to change, to create meaningful change, and employ better habits, be a better